guys, this is 20 tips to get motivated as a bookkeeper. So maybe you want to start your bookkeeping business, but it is just hard to take the first couple of steps to get that motivation. Maybe you are a bookkeeper and there are tasks that you're putting off. Believe me, I have been there. I have personally been feeling really unmotivated recently, so even making this video was actually a big pick-me-up. I was like, yeah, that is a good idea. So I would love it if you let me know in the comments one or two of these motivation ideas that really resonated with you that you're going to try to implement this week. My name is Morgan. There's tons of bookkeeper resources on my website, FinePoints.biz, and I would really appreciate a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel. Number one is work with me YouTube videos. So there are clean with me YouTube videos. There's also work with me videos where someone just works and has like some nice ambient noise in the background. I'll link one down below if I can find it. Sometimes that's all you need as like a solopreneur working from home is someone kind of like fake working right beside you. Number two, listen to something motivating. There is probably a podcast or a YouTube channel or a book, an audiobook out there that will put you in a good mood, that will motivate you and kind of get you out of your funk. Number three, pretend that you want to. So this is like a mind game that I'm kind of working on. And I heard this in terms of working out. Like if you're constantly saying, I hate working out, I don't like working out, I'm bad at working out, then you are gonna be those things. You are gonna hate it. But if you tell yourself, I'm good at working out, I'm strong, it's fun, it helps me feel better, then that goes a long way in your motivation. Number four, a sticker chart. So throwback to when you were a kid and your teacher would give you little stars on the blackboard or something. This is literally what I did when I was starting my bookkeeping business because it was hard to, I didn't have any clients, wasn't making any money, I didn't have anyone to answer to. So I didn't have anyone telling me, you gotta do this task, you gotta do this task when I was first starting out. So I literally got a calendar and I made a goal for myself. I think it was like 2 hours every day or something, or 5 days a week. And every time I hit that, I would give myself a sticker. Number five, use your motivation streak. So this was the one that resonated with me the most today. As you have probably felt and experienced, motivation can usually come in waves. And I feel like for me, it comes in pretty big waves. I'm like super motivated and then very not motivated. So what you can do is you can build your routines and your checklists and your habits during that motivation streak. So when you are motivated, don't just continue to get your tasks done, but think about how can I help my future self get more done. So maybe it is creating really good routines. I like to work ahead as much as possible. Or maybe it's creating a block schedule or a checklist or something that's going to help out your future self. So if you're a bookkeeper and you're trying to do some marketing, maybe on Facebook or on LinkedIn, and you really always put off those tasks, make a habit around that. Or maybe you can work ahead and schedule a bunch of posts in the future. Number six, pick the right time of day. So I'm pretty much useless after like 4 o'clock. If I really want to feel productive, it is really good for me to wake up early and start working. All right, the next three are kind of like a preparation theme. So the first one is prep your brain. So what I've realized is, so I walk my kids to school most days, and on the way home, I start to think about, okay, what tasks do I need to be doing for work? And sometimes I even start getting excited about the tasks, or I start strategizing about exactly how I'm going to get things done. So that really helps me kind of get into the groove, so I'm not just sit down at my desk like shocked, what am I supposed to do? You can also write your to-do list ahead of time, maybe like the night before, and that will help get your brain thinking about those things. Going along with that is set the scene, so make sure your office is comfortable, is clean-ish. Make sure your clothes are the clothes that you want to work in, that they're not too like pajama-y or they're not too uncomfortable. I have a heating pad that I sit on at my desk chair, and so I turn on that while I'm like making my coffee or something, and then I'm like excited to go and sit on my desk chair. It's like when my car seat was heated. I loved sitting in that seat. So that's just a small joy that helps me like set the scene in my office. And then number 9, eliminate distractions. You know you should not be working next to your phone, but do you? I do, and I know that I shouldn't, but it just happens sometimes. Number 10 is rewards. So try to think about how you can motivate yourself. Like I mentioned, that sticker chart was motivating to me just to kind of like check things off. Some people are motivated by words of affirmation. And as a, again, a solo person working by yourself, there's no boss that's going to say, oh, good job on that assignment, or you really worked hard on that. So try to figure out a way to get that same experience if that's something that is important to you. So maybe you can tell your spouse, oh, this is what I did today, and kind of make that part of your routine. Or maybe you feel like doing a really great job for your client is like kind of fulfills that reward mentality for you. Or maybe you want to give yourself a treat or a walk or something after you complete a certain amount of work. Number 11 is tiny tasks. I think I kind of made this up. Maybe I got the idea from someone. But basically make the task so minuscule that you have to do it. And I talked about this in a different video, I think, with if I'm tired and need to get out of bed, I'll start moving my finger. So my brain is like, okay, your body needs to do what your brain says. So I start with tiny tasks. Then I move my hand, and then I move my leg, and then I get off the couch or whatever. And you can do this with work tasks as well. So remember there was a task that was like a 2-step process. It was like it was a payroll thing. So I had to like log into one system and then put the information to another system. But I made that into 8 tiny tasks. So it was like sit at my computer desk, open this program, figure out what the password is, because of course I'd forgotten the password. Once you figure that out, then do the next step. So make the tasks so small that they're really easy to complete, and that will give you momentum for the next one. Number 12, start with one thing. This is kind of a family motto in my husband's family. So you're overwhelmed with tasks, you don't know what to do first. The point is, it doesn't really matter, just start getting one thing, anything done. Number 13, set a timer. You've probably heard this and some of these other ones before, but sometimes if someone just says it in a slightly different way, then it really just is like, bam, yes, I need to do that. I think last Christmas I asked for this timer. I'm gonna put it on the screen, and I never got it. So maybe I'll ask again, or I'll just buy it for myself. But it's kind of like a cool timer, and you can just like work in spurts, like 15-minute intervals or 20 minutes or whatever. And there is the Pomodoro method that kind of plays off that in another video called Get It All Done With Me, which the thumbnail looks like this. I talked about that more in detail. All right, and number 14, this does not work for me, but kind of a more famous like motivation technique is to count down. So I think you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you do whatever you're gonna do. That doesn't work. I count down and then I still just don't do it. But maybe that works for you. I know a lot of people have found success in that. The next one, number 15, is see your impact. And anytime you can give yourself like a visual representation of that, it's awesome. So maybe you had a friend who was super stressed about their small business, and you as a bookkeeper are helping them get organized and just like removing a lot of that stress from their life. You could have a picture of them or a picture of from their website on your office wall. The class I sell, Bookkeeper Business Coach, that I made, $25 of that goes to charity. And I just really appreciate that impact that charity is making on entrepreneurs like worldwide. So things like that, if you can see your impact either on your clients or on your family, that is a really key thing. And kind of going along with that is the next one, which is have a visual representation of your why. So why do you want to be a bookkeeper? Why did you start this business? Are you making extra income so your family can pay off debts? That is why I started the business. Do you really want to come beside business owners, or do you really want to help nonprofits? Or are you saving for something in particular, maybe for a family to buy a house or to go on certain vacations or send your kids to college? Like whatever your why is, keep that really close. I feel like I'm starting to talk faster, but I'll try to slow down, but I want to get through this whole list. The next one is do something fun on your list. So for me, I think making YouTube thumbnails is pretty fun. So even if I'm not motivated, I can sit down and like kind of do that like artistic part of my job. And so maybe there's something like that you can use to kind of jumpstart your motivation. Number 18, eat the frog, which is kind of a famous like self-help motivation thing these days, which just means do your hardest task first. And that way it's not hanging over you for the whole day. Number 19 is the 3-item to-do list. I love this. I've really adapted this in the last like 6 months to a year. Instead of having like a big giant to-do list, I just pick out my 3 most important things that I really want to get done that day. And you leave the day with a sense of accomplishment because you're like, yes, I did everything on my to-do list. And there was only 3 items, but I got them all done. Number 20 is habit stacking. So that is attaching something you don't want to do to something you already do every day or you already are in the habit of doing. So maybe as a bookkeeper, you hate going through receipts in QuickBooks, but every week you have a really good habit of categorizing your clients' expenses. So attach those 2 together. So say every single time I categorize expenses, I'm going to force myself to go through those receipts as well. And then the theory is over time those become linked and you don't even have to really stress or worry about doing that receipt matching. If you want to know more about receipt management, I do have a video about that too. It looks like this. Okay, I guess I have 2 bonus ones because I told you 20, but productive procrastination is the next one. So that's like organize your desk if you don't want to work, or vacuum the house or something. Like, at least you're doing something. And then the last one is let it be okay. So as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you usually have some flexibility in your schedule. And I've really had to kind of like internalize this in this season. Just like a mini story time about my own lack of motivation. I think I'm having a hard time because my kids are now in school full time for the first time ever. And so I have like longer stretches of time, and you'd think, oh, I have so much time to be productive and work. But it was almost like a shift in my identity. Because yes, I've been a bookkeeper for a long time, but I really felt like my main job was like keeping my kids alive. So even if I had a bad day, like the house was super messy, I didn't make dinner, I didn't get any work done or anything, at least I kept my kids alive. Like, I made them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I read them a book. And that was something I could really like internalize. This is a really valuable task that I'm doing every single day. But now from like 8 to 2, I don't have that responsibility. I don't have to keep my kids alive. So if I am unmotivated and unproductive and I get nothing done that day, I am working on just feeling okay with that and letting it be okay that the motivation was not there today, but really like kind of having that faith that it'll be there again eventually. So I hope this video was encouraging to you. If you've made it all the way to the end, definitely give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the red subscribe button to subscribe for free to my channel to get a new bookkeeping video every single week. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you next week.